graduate school is a time of your life, and that is what I will say about it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Honesty here
Just
on my
kidding.
channel. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited because today I am here with two fabulous friends and colleagues of mine who are graduate students and who are here to share some wisdom about graduate school. So, introduce yourselves.
I'm Amanda Hodel. And I'm Kelly Jed.
And tell us a little bit about what you guys study.
So I study early life experience and how it shapes children's brain development.
And I'm also interested in early life experience and particularly in how early adversity shapes brain development.
So what's one thing that you wish you would have known about the graduate school experience before you got to graduate school?
I wish I had known that it would be very different from undergrad, but in unexpected ways. It's not necessarily like you can't do the classes, it's just that you're balancing all of this other research and what do I want to do with my life.
I think the biggest thing that I would want people to know is that there's a culture of suffering. And you can choose to participate in the culture of suffering all the time, or you can choose to not participate in the culture of suffering. So what I mean by that is graduate school, as Kelly mentioned, is very challenging at times. Not just coursework, but those big questions about what do I want to do with my life, especially once I finish graduate school. And so not surprisingly, other students are anxious about those things as well. And so you can spend all your time talking about those things and worrying about those things with other people, or you can also try to make friends and have fun at the same time and have a better kind of work-life, mental health balance going on.
You often feel that if you aren't working yourself into the ground, you're doing
it wrong.
Yeah.
Not true.
Not true.
Yes,
Not true.
but it's hard. It's hard to ignore that.
If we could leave you with one lesson, it's don't work yourself into the ground. Don't compare yourself to everybody else. Yeah, not worth it.
I always tell undergrads who are working on their grad school applications and are interested in applying to grad school that it sounds kind of creepy, but you're basically going to be married to your advisor for 5 to 6 years. Like, in most cases, that's kind of the level of control they have over your life in some ways. And that's how intense that relationship can be. Mm-hmm. So choose carefully, but they can help you a lot. And so you want to be with someone who you get along with on a personal level and also on a mentorship level.
Mm-hmm. So what's one thing that you really enjoy about graduate school?
I think when I think about what is the most exciting part of graduate school, it's that you can be a self-directed learner. I'm in control of how I choose to devote my time to that, and I can, branch off and get interested in one particular little thing and go that way.
Right.
And I think that's an advantage that you don't have in a lot of other career paths.
But it's really great to be able to connect with people who are doing all sorts of different things. I think that's something that we've benefited from a lot in being in grad school, is getting to hear lots of different perspectives and lots of people who are doing really interesting work.
Yeah, it's really funny to go to a conference and see how excited everyone is about their own little nerdy thing, and that you're equally excited about some of them too. It's like, oh, these are my people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know a lot of graduate students go into graduate school thinking, okay, I'm going to become a researcher, or I'm going to become a professor, and I want to do tenure track teaching for the rest of my life. But the reality is that a lot of those jobs just kind of aren't available as much anymore.
So when I started, I definitely wanted to go along the major research university, research professor, also teaching, I like teaching, type of track. And if the job market was less competitive or easier or less there was less backlog of people on it, I guess. That's something I would be really comfortable now even saying that I would love to do. Like, I really like what I do, and I think it's really fun and interesting and cool. Given, though, what the situation is like right now, it's unclear to me if that's a good plan for me and plan for my family based on some of the work-life trade-offs that I might have to make.
I think it's really challenging because at the same time you're trying to figure out, do I want this? You're also trying to figure out, can I have this if I do want it? And those are different questions. And so for me, I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I want? And then even if I do want that, is it possible?
Right.
And then what should I do if it's not?
Well, and it's not something that I thought about when I came into graduate school at all. So if you're at the point where you're about to start or you're thinking about applying to go to graduate school, think about what you want to do at the end. Because it's going to come up. It's going to come up during graduate school. You
can't procrastinate
on it forever.
You can only avoid it for so long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So So you have to think creatively, though, too, because there's lots of things that you can do with your PhD.
Like Sarah, a YouTube channel.
It's a great example that you may have never thought about before. You think that you have this really you do have great, really narrow training in a content area, but you pick up a lot of skills as you're going through your PhD. Yep. And not just skills at copying and pasting in Excel, which Kelly and I are experts at.
PowerPoint!
Exactly, and PowerPoint, yay. Not just
learn a lot of Microsoft Office.
A lot of Microsoft Office. We do have other skills. Sometimes you just forget because you get so used to what it's like to be at a university.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the hardest things about the non-traditional academic track is that it's so not obvious. You know what you want, what you need to do to get a professor job. It may not be easy, but you kind of know, like, I need to get a postdoc, and then I need to do this, and then I need to get publications. It's not obvious what you need to do to get any other kind of job. So I think there's like a little bit of luck and a little bit of networking and it's creativity and trying to figure that out. But it makes it really hard when you're in grad school and trying to plan for something that there is no plan for.
Yes. So you guys are in slightly different places in your graduate experiences. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the graduate school journey for you. What are some of the things that you now recognize as like, okay, that's normal?
Well, I definitely think feeling dumb a lot of the time is a real thing. So dumb. I mean, I got here and I was just like, everyone here is smarter than me and everyone knows more than me and I will never measure up and be able to figure this out. First year was really challenging for me in that, and because you're just constantly comparing yourself, you're all doing the same thing. Second year I thought was a lot easier for me because I started to specialize in like what I am doing and become more of an expert in that thing. So, I may not be as proficient in all of these areas as these people, but I can know this thing.
I have always been excellent at classes and homework and doing well on tests. I was done with classes and was like, all right, figure out what you want to do by yourself. It's like,
for the rest of your life.
There's no syllabus for what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was a little hard for me for a while there to try and figure out what am I going to do with myself now that I'm done, with assignments. After our second year, we get the opportunity to teach a class for the first time. That kind of reinvigorated me at a time when I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with my research interests.
I really liked that.
It was really fun to share all the expertise that you've acquired through your coursework with undergraduates.
A lot of graduate school has to do with writing. You spend a lot of your time writing. And so I'm wondering if you guys have tips for writing. What are the things that work for you when you're trying to write?
One thing I feel like I was successful at writing prior to my dissertation is what Kelly's working on right now, so her special topics paper. That got me into a good groove with writing because I learned more about how can I set up the environment to ensure that I will actually write. I learned some good tips for myself about writing in the morning, just sitting down and trying to hit a specific amount of writing per day. And that could be bad writing. Any writing is better than no writing because you can edit it. If you haven't written, you can't edit it. There are things that distract me on the computer that will make it difficult to write that I should probably just block myself from being able to do because self-control is poor.
Facebook, Twitter,
yes,
what?
Exactly. And I don't even like Facebook. It's just a way to not be doing writing for 30 seconds or something.
The internet is a big distractor. I think, so I'm in the midst of writing my special topics paper and I am trying to learn some of these things. I actually work really well in busy coffee shops when there's a lot of noise around me. So sometimes I'll just spend 8 hours in a coffee shop and those have been my most productive days.
When things aren't going well, what are your favorite coping mechanisms?
I think doing something outside of graduate school is... You just need to get away sometimes. Yeah. I think it can be exercising for some people. It can be binge watching Netflix for other people. And sometimes it's both. But I think just getting away. I think it's also really nice to have people who are not in grad school that you can talk to. Because I think there's this culture of suffering. And so if you can get out to be with other people who are not in that culture, the world might not look as bleak.
Right.
Yes. I've actually went on more vacation in graduate school than I ever did previously in my life. Because your schedule is flexible, and I've also found that going away for a little while, not doing email, not doing work, it helps me be more productive and excited about things when I come back.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah. Yay. Thanks for the tips.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun. It's pretty exciting. I mean, I feel like we complain about things sometimes, but
there are rough patches.
But I feel like we're really lucky. It's a pretty unique opportunity.
Yeah,
graduate school is pretty awesome in a lot of ways.
Right. Thank you for chatting with me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.